Hail, hail, and welcome to A Celtic World North America. We are part of the Celtic World YouTube channel, which has a series of podcasts which highlight the worldwide Celtic support. And on our show, we try to do a little bit of the North American perspective on all things Celtic. We did the double a month or two ago. Like, I don't think I could even imagine uttering those words on this show. And you can actually say we coasted to a win in the Cup final. It was a little difficult at times, but compared to most of our games this season, that was a walk in the park. So in a season where we had 3 managerial changes, long-term injuries to important players like CCV, Johnston, Engels, Jota, fans protesting against the board for pretty much the entire season, a ban of the Green Brigade for much of the season, we still managed to win the league and the Scottish Cup. Far from our most talented side, but the winning mentality that those players had really came through in the end, and it was glorious. So it's our last show of the Celtic season before we move into off-season mode. So I think it's fitting that we have with us tonight 2 of our most frequent guests that we've had on this season. So let's introduce the panel tonight. First things first, Chris, how we doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Good to see you.
Warm summertime.
Yeah, it's getting warm here again. We had like kind of a chilly week a little bit, but now today it's getting hot again and rainy. But and then Sean Finn from Pittsburgh. Sean, welcome back.
Hail, hail. Great. Always glad to be here, boys.
Yeah, always great to have you on. And then last but not least, Paul from Chicago. Paul, welcome back.
Thank you. Good to be back. Been a fun end to the season after a lot of crap. So it's nice to be positive today.
Yeah, I mean, you guys haven't been on in the last few weeks where like things started to turn positive and we started to have some belief.
Yeah.
I think most of the season when we had you on, it was so dire. And I think, Paul, you said it earlier, like I can't wait, like on when we were texting, like you couldn't wait to come on. And but yeah, like I said, I think it's been a therapy session for us for much of the season. So like it's good to end up on a positive. So I mean, I think we'll start off tonight by talking about the match over the weekend. Scottish Cup final is always great. Like it's a little bit later start, so you get better crowds at our clubs, and like in Philly, we had music after it, and it was a huge turnout for the game. Probably not quite the level of the Fela, but it was good. And maybe 10 minutes before the match, it didn't look that way. I was like looking around, like, man, it's kind of dead right now. Like, and then everybody just rolled in all at once. So yeah, it was awesome. Sean, how was the crowd in Pittsburgh? I think I got a picture of you guys. Did you guys have a good turnout?
Yeah. It was great. I don't think as many people as the the last game of the league, but it was a joyous crowd that I think was ready to just party, and that's pretty much what we did.
Yeah, it was a weird vibe. It was so much less tense than the week before.
For sure. Yeah, the level of just like kind of relaxation compared to the week before was night and day.
Yeah. How about you? How was it in Chicago, Paul?
Yeah, similar to Pittsburgh. It wasn't as many as the week before, but people showed up ready to party because it was just relief. It was most people, if you asked them, it was kind of like what happens in the cup final happens. We got the league and we're just happy. We had music on after the game, like you guys. We raffled off a Oxlade-Chamberlain signed jersey, so we got a good bill turnout for that. It was people were happy, and because it was a late kickoff for us after like a bunch of 6 a.m. games. Kind of felt nice to get a lie in, and then we were out until like 3 or 4 p.m. Which is like usually you're passed out by that point after the game. But no, we just kept going. We kept going. That was a great wee day.
Yeah, here, let me throw out this. I got one picture from you guys from over the weekend.
It's a
And
rare
then-
photo where I'm behind the camera.
And then here's Sean and his group on over the weekend too. So yeah, like good crowds everywhere. We actually probably had more people in Philly this weekend than we did for the Hearts match.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it was a great crowd. And typically we do get a really good crowd for the Cup final. So it was lovely. Chris, how did you watch the match?
I had the same crowd that was at last week's Hearts match, so it was good. No, we watched here at the house, so I mean it wasn't anything special. It had a lot to do besides that, but you know, Saturday mornings that start late and you can kind of really kind of dig your teeth into it. I mean it's always perfect. So it was awesome in my view.
Yeah.
But I did have music on afterwards too, so I did get the ribs on. So,
of course.
just a smaller crowd.
That's a must.
Yeah.
I'm sure Doc was enjoying the revs too.
Oh
so.
yeah. He's a big Fenian hound.
Well, before we dive into the match, let me just throw up some comments. Just from Peter in Greenock. Just a nice comment. Peter, I know he's been in the comments, I know, in weeks past. Hail 420. 420 is always on with us. NetGel from up in Canada. And Andrew from Melbourne, he's always in here too. So it's good to see. We always had those our regulars, which is nice. And then Mick, of course, Mick from Kansas City. And I got a picture from their group I'll throw up later too. Nice. So. But in terms of the match, let me throw up the lineup first before we do anything. And I guess I'll go to you first, Chris. Any surprises on the lineup?
I mean, anytime you get a James E. Forrest starting, that's always a good positive. But I mean, we saw him that first half. The reason why he was there, so you know, it was great to see him there. And I mean, the rest of the team kind of picked itself, in my opinion. You know, just stick with the lineup that's gotten us to where we are. So it's good to see, though.
Yeah, and it's that one spot that we just seem to have trouble filling over the last month. Like nobody has grasped that wing spot. Like Tenecti, it's all guys who, and even Forrest. I mean, Forrest typically is going to be better coming on as a sub than he is starting. And so yeah, it was kind of. I mean, I think Forrest is better than Tenecti has been in recent weeks, but it's definitely a weak spot. And you can't start Ian Nacho and throw Maeda out there too, because like he can't give you the minutes. So
right.
Paul, how about you? I mean, anything surprising on
Not
the
really. It was kind of like same with the rest of the run, and it was kind of exactly as you expect every week. Once like the main guys like Johnston and Engels, I mean, everyone talking about Maeda scoring the goals and he won his league, but it all changed when AJ and Engels got fit, you know. So it's just seeing them in, it was like, okay, we're safe. I don't care who's on the wings, we're safe, you know.
Yeah, Engels has been massive, and like you could probably almost give him another possible man of the match. Like he was definitely in. I don't know who won man of the match over the weekend, but it was like he had to be up there in the running. Like, and he has been almost week in and week out since he came back. So he's been really good. Sean, I mean, I feel like there's no surprises out there on that lineup.
Yeah,
I think we kind of picked it going into it outside of, was it going to be Forrest, Tenecti, or, I don't know, starting Ian Nacho even, but there wasn't much.
Yeah, I think like you said, I think Forrest is just a kind of a more reliable at this point. Tenecti, I think, out of all the wingers that have a chance to start, is so much better coming off the bench when the other team's a little gassed, and he can actually effectively take on a couple guys and beat them. I thought Jamesy looked pretty good, that game. And you can tell, I mean, obviously he's getting older and has lost a step, but I mean, just the quality is there, and he knows what these games are all about. So, it was nice to see him get the start.
Yeah, particularly in that game, I think it was good to give him a start just because, it would have been great to get him a goal too, but wasn't meant to be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I think we all kind of said it was so much less tense, I think, in the build-up to the match, and obviously then going into Hearts last week and that whole entire game, really. But it didn't start out. I mean, we seemed in control a little bit to start, and then that little pass back to Sinisalo that was trickling towards the line, and you're like, oh shit, here we go again. And was it Scales who cleared it up?
Yeah.
Chris, how are you feeling when that happens?
Of all of the times that could have happened, that came at the worst time. But to actually see it, Scales pulled it off where it didn't go in. That was quality, in my opinion. And that's for me, that's kind of a microcosm of the way the season's gone, right? Because we did just win the double, and but it was nearly close to walking through quicksand. A giveaway goal like that can demoralize a team that's especially in a cup game where Lenny's looking across the field and he's going, okay, he knows kind of how to pick us apart. Unfortunately, may not have the players to do it, but anyway, it just to finally see Scales get one where he clears it off the line like that. That was good to see, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and I mean, honestly, they didn't do much else the entire first half. I mean, that might have been the only time the ball got near Celtics box, really, when you think about it. Mm-hmm. So then, I guess taking ahead to the 19th minute, and the guy, you could say one of the guys, but probably the guy most responsible for getting us over the line in the league, and outside of Martin O'Neill, probably Dyson Maeda, a little dink over the top ball from Alistair Johnston, and Dunfermline center back, kind of a little bit of misplay. It would have been tough, and I think he was a young guy, so probably not the best spot to have Dyson running on your back and knowing you got to deal with that ball. But Dyson takes it well, and again, just a perfect finish. Sean, what was your thoughts then when that Dyson's goal, and then how are you feeling after it?
Oh, I think like you said, post split. I mean, this guy has just put the team on his back, and just has just found another gear, really. And I think that some of those young players on Dunfermline were just I don't think they've seen anything like that in the championship, anything close. So and I think Midas, Dyson is just full of confidence, and to even just try that, what he did, and I thought it was fantastic, a fantastic way to to kind of end and really put everything at ease. And I think we were kind of smooth sailing from there. Well, semi smooth sailing, for Celtic, this season. But it was a big sigh of relief, and just being able to kind of sing the Maeda song, at the pub, again, probably for the last time maybe ever, was pretty special. So loved it.
Yeah, I will be sad to see him go. He's been one of my probably my favorite player of the last few years. And even as he was, going through, I mean, you see what kind of player he is. Like he runs like a maniac, and he's completely unique in that way to any player almost I see in world football, which is amazing. You get frustrated at his finishing, but he pulled it together for those last 7-8 games or whatever. Paul, what was the reaction to the goal in Chicago?
So I was actually I've decided to go for a piss. So so I was in the bathroom and just heard a big cheer. So I was kind of like, when you're watching the game, I was like, right, watch this. I'll go to the bathroom and he'll score. And I've been lucky for the most part this season. But yeah, I just heard like, oh, and then the big cheer. So I had to see the goal at halftime. But I just came out and said, all right, we've got the goal. And if I going into the game, I was like, okay, we get the first goal, we're fine. I mean, really wasn't that much danger in the game. But yeah, once we got the goal, I was like, okay, we're coasting this. But yeah, once I saw it, I just thought like, it's classic Dyson. Just never stops running. Just never stops. And like even some of the best players in Europe have struggled against his high press. And Dunfermline, once he did that, like once he turned it on against them, it was like they didn't know how to handle it. No disrespect to them, but they just don't play against that level every week. So yeah, the centre back just selling the jerseys a wee bit at that. And then the keeper just kind of, there's a few times the game where their keeper just kind of went, it's done.
Yeah. I mean, I think when we get to Engel's goal, you'll kind of have that.
Yeah.
It's like, it was almost like a Casper Schmeichel, like, fuck that. I'm not dying to that.
So yeah, he just kind of came out knowing like, okay, something happens because with Dyson, you've got the Dyson attacks where like he can do everything incredible and then he'll miss an easy one-on-one or he'll just launch like a shot out of the stadium or something. So that's your best bet in that situation. But Dyson pulled it off and it was a great goal, great finish.
Yeah, I mean, so cool and like, which is totally not him. Like, and it is like we talked about. I think like when he has time to think, a lot of times it messes him up. And like I think that was the kind of a reaction play. Like he probably saw the keeper out, and was like it was a reaction rather than, all right, what am I going to do once I get the ball? Like, and take a dribble, take a touch, and then he's fucked in.
And so usually when he tries to get it past the keeper, it goes past the post. So this time he just went, goal for the guy.
Yeah, and he was in no man's land, the keeper on that one. So I throw up a couple comments. Like Graham's explanation for Hatate not being in the lineup. Which I think, I mean, I don't know what happened there, but I mean, being left out of the lineup the last 2 weeks, right? Wasn't the last 2. I think it was last 2.
He hasn't gotten much playing time.
And not much playing time outside of that at all, really. Otherwise,
there was some point a few weeks ago, Martin O'Neill said like in this kind of running with the high pressure, there's no space for the guys with the wrong attitude. And like we did see a few guys just kind of getting bombed out a wee bit, And I was like, we saw a lot less of Oxlade Chamberlain and some other guys. So yeah, I think it was just a bit of that. Like Hatate, even under Ange, he could just throw the toys out the pram in a game and just stop trying. Really, I mean, he saved his Ibrox, but that was his contribution.
Yeah, and that's what you could like going through almost this entire team. Almost everybody like had a contribution, some smaller than others, but like you said, Hatate, like even like Adamu scoring in against Dundee. I mean, he's barely. I guess the only guy I could say who did it probably is Mbuka. I can't think of any contribution he made to the league or the cup. He was pretty invisible. You can think of like guys like McCowan and Oxlade Chamberlain getting the winner at Livingston. Like it was, a full-on team effort, like getting us over the line in the league, particularly. But like you said, then it's We had most of the ball in the first half. I think I saw the possession stats was like it was like 81-19, something like that in possession in the first half, and they got Dunfermline got a little better in the second half, and we mentioned, briefly Engel's goal, and again, like I think Andrew Engel's man of the match, and I would agree with that. So his goal, he scores on the 36th minute. I mean, he tagged that. I mean, he hit that. He got all of that. And like we said, maybe the keeper could have done him. I don't think the keeper's saving that, but he could have maybe put in a little more of an effort.
Yeah, didn't even try.
Yeah.
It's like a 5 sides when you've got a sort of arm or something. I'm not going for that.
Sean, what was the reaction in Pittsburgh to Engel's goal?
I mean, again, to go up 2-0, everybody was really feeling good. I was really happy for him as well. I think that he, it's not really often that he even attempts, a shot from outside the box like that. And he's obviously has, he can strike it. So it kind of reminds me of like, McGregor, who often, doesn't feel like, even though he can shoot, doesn't take the chance sometimes. I mean, that's probably indicative of the whole team, but it was really nice to see Engels have the courage to attempt that. And, what a strike, kind of like Negrin, the week before. And really, I think after that, we were just, in a really joyful mood and ready to kind of celebrate a double. Yeah,
same. I mean, like I said, I think it was a pretty relaxed mood even as at 0-0 in the barn. I think, Paul, like you said, like it was almost like a whatever happens today happens. We should win, but if we don't, we still won the league, and but obviously getting a double was massive. It was nice. I mean, that play just opened up for Engels. Like I think it was McGregor who laid it off for him, and but Engels, when you think about it, I mean, he hasn't. I can't think of a lot of goals he's had in open play really for us. I mean, probably almost all his goals have been penalty. I think he's had a few, but I can't think of those ones like outside the box where he does seem like a guy who can hit it like from out there, but he never seems to get it on target. So more of that I think would be great next year. And I think we'll talk about it later in terms of like, in the off season, like, are we going to keep guys like him? And so I think he would be a big miss if we lost him. So it goes to halftime 2-0. Come out in the second half, and like Dunfermline started out really well, I think, in the second half, and I do think, and I listen to Huddle Breakdown every week, and that's the one thing Alan on their show says, like when we get ahead, sometimes by even a goal, we just not stop playing, but it like the attack mindedness just completely goes away, and we go through 30-minute stretches, 35 40-minute stretches where we don't even get a shot at attempt, and that kind of happened a little bit on Saturday. Chris, how did you feel like when Dunfermline came out in the second half?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's not necessarily that it's just like you let off the gas a little bit, right? So we've been plagued with that numbers of matches this season where we'll be up 1-0 or going to halftime, 0-0 or whatever, and just it's a lull that happens, and it sucks, but I mean, to Dunfermline's credit, I mean they at least broke us down in the ways that kind of made it obvious, if that's possible, that like, that we're kind of struggling at the moment. But you go through those spells, and then when you finally make those changes, that's when you start to break out of it. But I mean, going starting the second half, I felt pretty confident. I mean, after Ingles kicked the absolute dog shit out of it, I quit kind of worrying. I'm like, no, everything's kind of in the bag. Even if we get sluggish, I feel confident. So, but yeah, I mean, it's just we've been plagued with that kind of stuff all season.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, you weren't as well as Dunfermline was playing. They weren't really creating much. They had more of the ball, and you're not thinking like they're gonna be able to put two past us. In the end, they got one, which is kind of like a consolation goal at that point. But couple subs come on. Iheanacho, who's, I mean, if he could give us like 60 minutes every week, how much of a difference that would have made this season, I think is astonishing. Like to be able to let him start, because you saw it on his goal, like the footwork, and you saw it last week against Hearts, that when he hit the post like that, like he's so good with his feet, and that little turn just to lose a defender. I don't know. It's frustrating that I don't think he'll ever be that guy. But Sean, you want to take us through Iheanacho's goal?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just you can see the class, the technical ability, of a player that's played at the highest level and just has the confidence to do that kind of stuff. And if like you said, if he was, even 30% more fit, we'd have a real, probably the answer to our striker question here. But I just don't. I mean, there's no evidence that he can, stay fit enough to make it. I know we'll probably talk about the future and stuff like that, but yeah, I mean it's a real shame because we haven't had that kind of quality since. I mean, I don't even think Kyogo, like as far as like a like just like a real confident, strong striker in the box. Probably since like what Edouard Dembele, yeah. So it's nice to see that, and what I think we've all been missing that big time over the past couple of years. But I guess we'll see. I mean, maybe they give him another year and he can actually have a preseason and he can be somewhat useful next year. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like he's got to be on pretty big wages coming from where he was coming from. I'll throw up. I think this is Alan. Alan's in Houston. Like, do you agree? I mean, I think we can. I mean, we're going to talk about this later, but since we're talking about him now, like, do you think he deserves another year? And like I said, wages. I think it would be tough, but maybe I don't know what we're paying him this year, and then it's kind of. But it's funny. I saw a video of like an old video of him just playing for Leicester, and I was like, holy shit, that's that can't be the same guy. I mean, he just looks like a different guy, like body wise. But yeah, I don't know, Paul. What do you think? Do you think it'd be worth it to bring him back for another year?
Yeah, I mean, back in February, we thought we were never going to see him play for us again. But once he got fit, he actually showed up a lot of times this season. And then the 20-minute Tim's guys made a good point. Like, he kind of plays in this league like the guy, like 5-a-sides, who almost went pro, and he's got a bad hip or something like that. And you can tell he's struggling, but they just have that little flash of quality. Like, oh, this guy's a player here. And like, he showed that every game this season he came on. It's weird to think that like he's pretty much the same age that Kyogo was when we signed him.
Yeah.
Because he's been around so long, you think he's, Oxlade Chamberlain, a guy like that in his 30s or something, but he's not that old. Don't know why it is he can't get fit. Maybe it's the Shawarma King in Glasgow. That's pretty good. So maybe he's been hitting that up too much. Maybe Casper showed him it. But no, I think if we can keep the wages down, I think we've got a good player there that we can get for relatively cheap. The problem is that if you're going to spend good money on a guy like that, you need him playing good minutes every week, and we can't get that from him.
Yeah,
But his goal on Saturday was fantastic. Just those wee touches, just to send the defenders flying everywhere and just get it past the keeper. But then 5 minutes later, he's through on goal and he's got to run 40 yards and he can't do it. So it's oh no, we're not talking about it, Kenny. He can go. He found his level of boat and went back.
Yeah.
But no, like I would, if we can get the money right, I would try and keep the natural. But one thing Celtic isn't good at is getting the money right. So that's gonna be.
Yeah, I wonder if he kind of sees an opportunity for himself. Like you said, he's not very old, and he's had quite a few years of not really getting much playing time because of his injuries, and I wonder if he sees this as an opportunity to kind of like, okay, I really like it here. The fans like me. Let me see what I can do to kind of get myself maybe, another year. And then if I can get myself fit again, because somebody posted a comment saying, why isn't he fit? I mean, I think it's probably due to, I'm not exactly sure what his like primary injury, whether it's his hamstrings or whatnot, but I mean, those can really set you back. And then, kind of like with Oxlade-Chamberlain, you don't get a lot of actual playing time, no matter how hard you're training. And then, you can have a setback. These things can be kind of chronic. And then you just kind of fall out of the, having the opportunity to play a lot. And I think we're seeing, I would give him a chance. I would be like, look, we'll pay you this. You're going to get playing time, obviously, but you're more importantly, you're going to get a chance to kind of build your career back.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason why he has to retire at 29 or 30, or go to some, shit league to be the star where he only has to, jog like, 30 yards. But yeah, I don't know. I would be anxious out of anybody. I'd like to see him back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of what ifs. I think, like you said, like wages, and do we think he can give us? I'm not expecting him to ever give 90 minutes, probably even 75 minutes. But I think if he was able to give you 60 minutes, he'd be like insanely effective in Scotland. So I don't know. I mean, that goal was on Saturday. Like the feet, the footwork was phenomenal. Which like Dyson's not doing that, and like you said, I think maybe Kyogo could have done that, like on a stay. But
Maybe
I think Iheanacho can consistently do those kind of things, which is like if he's able to do that, he's probably people say Shankland's the best striker in Scotland. Iheanacho playing 75 to 90 minutes, I think, would be the best striker in Scotland. But
definitely worth a risk to try and find that out, at least. Like we say, because it's a be a free transfer, we have to put out that weight money, so we can give him a little bit extra in the wages, but I don't think we can go over 15, 20k a week for him.
Yeah.
Whereas he's coming from, he's been Man City, he's been Leicester, down in Spain. He's used to get a fair whack for his money, but some guys just realise, oh wait, no, I love football. This is why I do this, and I think that's what you see from Iheanacho the past couple of months is he's loving his football again. And we saw those videos of his time at Middlesbrough, where he was running with the ball and he couldn't do it. He just looked miserable. So it was just nice to see him happy again, and the fantasy seemed phenomenal. So it's worth the risk for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like winning trophies, that's can sell job to somebody. Like a lot of people want to do that, particularly
Yeah.
like if you're, he won in Leicester probably, and then not winning for a while, come back to this and 60,000 fans in the stadium, and it's I think that, but a lot of time, those guys are rare where they I think choose trophies over wages. So maybe that's wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, realistically, like, who's gonna sign him? It's gonna be some crap team, that.
Or do the championship or something.
Yeah, right.
At the most.
Yeah.
Chris, what does your shirt say?
Says Bethlehem to Belfast.
So it doesn't say fart in it, no?
No, it doesn't say that. It was a charity tournament that River Day did maybe 2012, 2011.
Okay.
When they brought a bunch of Palestinian kids over to Belfast.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, there was some discussion in the comments, so figured I'd
okay.
get that question answered.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so in the end, like I said, Dunfermline gets a consolation goal to make it 3-1, and just like I said at the beginning, you couldn't imagine saying even 1 month, 2 months ago that we would win a double this year. The league seemed crazy. Like probably the Scottish Cup seemed a little more feasible at the time. And even that, it was we went through 120 minutes at Ibrox without a shot and beat them. And so it's as like we said at the beginning, Paul, like when we it was a difficult watch all season. In the end, it's just I think it goes back to Celtic kind of being like this fairy tale, it's always a great story kind of club, and that's what it ended up being, which is phenomenal. So and we celebrated hard, we had music at the plow. Paul, you guys had music, and I ended up ducking out kind of early. I wasn't putting in the whole day, but I saw pictures from the guys at the plows out until that night, and I know they were pre-gaming, some of them beforehand. David, who's been in the comments, so good for them.
I ended up on it all day. As the Jesus and Mary chain were in town Saturday.
Nice.
It was been one of my favourite bands for years, and I'd never seen them. So I bought those tickets months ago, not realising it was Scottish Cup final day. So I just decided to drink all the way through until it was time for them to come on. So I had a rough Sunday.
Yeah, I hear that. It was nice to have the long weekend, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Monday was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was lovely. I needed that. Yeah, so like I said, take it back to, just kind of recapping this season. It was seeing that video that Celtic put out with all our late winners. I think that it was last week or sometime around there. You almost forget some of those early games in the season, we got a late winner. We got a couple late winners against St. Mirren, against Dundee, and any of the. And I think I said it last week. Any of those games that we did get those points, makes a massive difference in how things ended up in the league. So I don't know. And I'll take it back to the other thing I said, and I'll throw this to you, Chris. The banning the Green Brigade for much of the season, and when they came back was another one of those kind of turning outside, Dyson kind of turned it on, but that was right around the same time that the Green Brigade came back in the stadium that shit started turning around and got on a winning run. So Chris, how much of a factor do you think that was?
Well, what's the phrase that you have to have the Trinity? right? You have to have the players, you have to have the manager, and you have to have the support all running in the same direction. And for much of the season, there has been discontent, right? Like everybody's been upset about Wilfred Nancy, or the things that the board didn't do, or I mean, you point to any number of things, right? The fact that we didn't invest, the fact that we didn't qualify for the Champions League. I mean, there's plenty of reasons you can be upset about the way that the season kind of like took it out of us, halfway through like October, right? That you're right around kind of coasting, and then Brendan Rodgers leaves, and Wilfred Nancy comes in, and then the Green Brigade, getting banned, and I mean, it's just any number of things. But when the Green Brigade came back, I mean, look what happened. There was finally some unity amongst the support, and you see what happens, right? I mean, when everybody's allowed to go and cheer for Celtic at Celtic Park as one and in unison, I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see. But if you focus on all of the, oh well, there's this, da 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 da, like, I mean, I'm not saying that them coming back is made us win a double. That's ridiculous. But at the same time, I am saying that there's magic to this, and part of that magic is creating that atmosphere. You don't have that atmosphere without that north corner. You just don't. I mean, boys, they do a phenomenal job on the other side. I know they do, but when fans, that's their outlet, and you want everybody to have a place that they can sing the songs and lift Celtic through. And when you don't have that, like it's apparent, man. It's just might as well watch golf.
Yeah. No, you're right. And yeah, I wasn't saying like it was. I think there was a lot of factors, obviously, that put us over the line. But I think that helped. I mean, there was noticeable difference in the atmosphere when they came back, and that's gonna help, on the field, because I don't know, we got it done at the end, which like after that Dundee United game on the beach, it was it didn't seem possible.
Waikiki.
Yeah, that Falkirk game when the Green Brigade came back, something felt different that day. Yeah, and we still made it hard for ourselves like we did the whole season. But then we got over the line. We see Dyson's high press once again. But yeah, I just remember before that game, they did the You Never Walk Alone. First time we'd really done it, and just a random league game for quite some time. And just something felt like, okay, there's belief here. And the team came out and just didn't lose a game after that. So fair play to them. Fair play to the fans. Fair play to the boss. Fair play to the players. Still a lot of them that I'd be happy to see here next year. But they got us over the line, and that's what matters.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of, I mean, it's kind of where do we go from here now? And I think the first question is the manager, because I think that's where a lot of the decisions are going to be made. And I think I saved the comment, but would you want to see Martin O'Neill come back? I'll throw that to you first, Sean. Like, would he be your first option? There's no right answer.
I've said all along that I'm not really sure it even matters who we bring in if the backroom stuff doesn't change. I was having this conversation with Patrick from our club the other day, and I really think that if anybody for sure would make me feel relatively comfortable for next year, it would be him. I feel like if we're going to make this a year to kind of, I mean, I think we're all hoping that there's going to be a bit of a sea change in the way that Celtic do business and conduct themselves. And this year is kind of like a gap year in a way to kind of get that all in place. I don't think that I would be, I don't think I would be mad at all to have somebody who's already done it with I wouldn't say the best Celtic squad, that we've had in, a long time. We've already, the players seem to really, really love and respect him. And, I think that he could probably be somewhat of a conduit to maybe kind of force, some of the needed change in the backroom activities. So I would be totally happy. Is he my first choice? I don't know. At this point, probably yes, because I don't know who else is, in the running. Would somebody like Keane or Craig Bellamy? I don't know, because they'd be, besides what the peripheral stuff, with Robbie Keane, but they'd be an unknown quantity, or so at least with Martin O'Neill, what you're getting. If he has the players, even if they're not the best Celtic team you can possibly field, that he can at least give you a good chance to get it done.
Yeah.
He also did fairly well in Europe this year. So
True. Chris, how about you?
I don't know.
Yeah, Chris.
I mean,
I think you're a Martin O'Neill guy. Everybody is a Martin O'Neill guy.
I mean, how can you not be? I mean, he's amazing, right? But I'm kind of in the same boat with Sean that I think that the lack of a manager pool, because maybe the World Cup has got a lot of people kind of, the attention's driven to that, and there's just not like a huge market at the moment for people looking for a manager job. I mean, at least that's the feeling I get, because I only hear the same names again and again and again. The Craig Bellamy and Keane and whatever. Like I read today, somebody wrote about like we should go for Thomas Frank, and I'm like, that's not happening. Like I mean, I get it. People are looking for work, but at the same time, like, you have to have some sort of realistic attitude as to who's actually going to come in to be a Celtic manager. So I think the known quantity, like Sean said, that that known quantity of Martin O'Neill, if he's asking for another year, maybe give it to him to give you, give yourself some time to really make that sea change that we're all kind of asking for, as like, we want to see, European football. We want to be, forever on the foot, to kind of go forward and take us to that next level. But if Martin O'Neill is ready to do that, then I'm all for it. But if he's not, then I mean, you've got some people that are way far one way about Robbie Keane, and you got some people other way about Craig Bellamy, and I'm with you. I just want Martin O'Neill. I mean, if it's going to be this much of a back and forth, like time is of the essence right now, right? Because you're in preparation time right now for next season that kicks off in what. The first part of August is your first Champions League qualifiers. So, I mean, you've got 2 months basically for people to get, match fit and ready to go for whatever's going to face us, in August. So I'm okay with Martin O'Neill for another year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I I think what he did, and the comment that is threw up from John Mulaney, I think says all. Like he got what he got out of this team and getting them over the line to win the league and the Scottish Cup is amazing. He deserves a statue. Like he should be like given sainthood. I don't know. I still don't know if it's the best idea to bring him back though. Like I think if he wants to come back, then yeah, I would probably give it to him. But I don't. I feel like Celtic is a club that desperately needs to modernize, and I don't think. Like I think that's just bringing Martin O'Neill back is. And I feel like I'm like I'm a blasphemer here, saying this shit, but like it's like I feel like we just need to modernize, and I don't think that's the answer. But like I said, I would take him back still at the same time because I think he would win us probably the league next year. I don't know, Paul. What do you think? Like,
So yeah, I'm different from you guys. I'm very much against Martin O'Neill getting the full time. But what he did this season was incredible. He took the dregs of not just Brendan's team but Ange's team as they were falling apart and got them over the line. It's fantastic. But that's what those kind of managers do. Is you can get a result out of a team, but it's a different job from building a team. So I would love it if he just said, okay, I'm done. I feel like he felt a bit hurt from his last season back in 2005 when, we lost it in Helicopter Sunday and then won probably one of the worst cup finals you'd ever see. But I think he's just ride off into the sunset, 2 trophies in hand, and say, I've done it, lads. That's his legend,
Right.
Because managers, how often does it finish well for a manager? And then a big reason why I'm against it is just go back to why have we been boycotting a lot of stuff with Celtic this season? Why have we been protesting? It's lazy and poor recruitment. Emphasis on lazy. It's refusing to sign players or manager or anyone in the club and refusing to look further than the numbers you've already got on your phone, And that's kind of what they'd be doing again with us. So it's kind of rewarding them for doing exactly what we said not to do.
Yeah. And
like Sean said, I think we just need to move forward. The rest of the league is starting to catch up because, Rangers have got their big money takeover. I mean, didn't turn out well this year. It's going to work eventually. That's just how money works in football. Hearts are getting their shit together. Motherwell done well this year. And Martin O'Neill, if you look back at the last 10 years of his career, he got ousted at Nottingham. It was a player revolt because the players didn't like his old-fashioned techniques back in 2019.
Yeah.
And I just think if we want to build a team of young players, fast, good at football, they might not like a guy like Martin. But as you guys said, the big issue is who else are we looking at? Because once again, they're just looking at their phone. There's Craig Bellamy, who's doing okay with Wales, but missed out on the easiest World Cup to qualify for ever. They've got Robbie Keane, who's just finished second in a one-horse race in Hungary, ignoring all the political stuff that's involved with his last 2 clubs. He's took over a team that's won 7 in a row and finished second. So it's like, okay, what are we doing here? I just really want them to push the boat out. And I also don't want, the big risk of Martin O'Neill coming back was hurting his legacy a little bit. If things didn't go well, may not have happened. But if he stays an extra year or so, he's going to be, 74, 75 by the end of next season? It's pretty old, I think as it stands, he's the second oldest manager in world football after Dick Advocat at Curaçao. So it's just kind of yes, it would be romantic. It'd be fun. We all love Martin. He's a big reason why I like football. His first stint at Celtic. But is it how modern football clubs should be running? And for me, it's just we just need to move forward and let him enjoy his retirement.
Yeah.
If he wants to stay, that's great. We love you, Martin, but got to move on.
Right.
It's a cutthroat industry, and he knows that more than anyone playing under Klopp.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying, and I do. I think the main reason why, and this is obviously a negative, thought process, but do I feel that Celtic have it in them to actually make the necessary changes. And that's what I'm afraid of, is that, now, who's to say if bringing in Nancy at the beginning of a season wouldn't have worked out some way? It might have. It might have been another, Askew type situation. But, I just don't like. You can already see it being the same old, like you just said. Oh, who's in my phone? Who's in the Rolodex? And if it stays like that, either it doesn't matter who we bring in, or I'd rather have somebody who's a known quantity, at least to, scratch and claw our way to a league. I mean, most of the time, the football that Martin, that we played under Martin was not that great to watch. Do I want that? No,
No.
but we won.
Yeah.
So
they call it the win button,
Yeah, right.
Well, I think we complained about it with the, once we get a goal ahead, we just sit on the lead, sit on a 1-goal lead and don't get a shot off for 35 minutes. That's become our MO over the last, half of the season.
Right.
Yeah, there was a lot of wins in there, but there was also just a lot of piss poor performances. And as Celtic fans, one thing we're always known for shouting about is it's not just about the winning; it's about playing pure, beautiful, inventive football.
Mm-hmm.
And not what we got this year. And if we continue on, don't see how that's going to happen next year. And another concern I've got is growing up, being 13 or 14 when Martin was here the first time, just sitting on the couch all summer watching Sky Sports News, watching all these teams sign players. And Celtic would sign guys like Michael Gray, Henri Camara. We signed 2 guys a summer. Martin, for me, I was never linked with signing a lot of players. He could sign he inherited a good team, bought some great pieces for good money that Alan Thompson, Chris Sutton, John Hartson, who really pulled the team together, but really it didn't really add to it. And that was kind of why we lost the league in 05, is because we just had an aging team.
Right.
And that's my main concern. He was able to get this team over the line. That's fantastic. We love you, Martin. But I think it's time to move on.
Yeah, I'm kind of that same mindset. And even I'm of the mindset of you see people, I'll just move them up to be, and I think we saw in the comments, be director of recruitment, or I don't think it's healthy to have him even up there, because then he's always going to be there as this gigantic shadow over the new manager. And I feel like it's always going to be we struggle to start a season, which we typically in a lot of cases have under new managers. I mean, even under Brent, think about we lost our first game with Brendan to Lincoln Red Imps, and Ange lost his first few games in the league. To have that looming over you when you saw what happened last year, and I think, or this year, I say last year, this year, I think was an extreme with Nancy losing 6 out of 8 games was a shock to the system a little bit, but I don't know. I don't think it's healthy, but I think if he wanted to stay, I don't think our board would get in his way, really. So that's probably another failure as the way the organization, the club is run, that it would probably allow that.
It's an easy win for them, and we just can't let them away with stuff like that. It's not do your job, find a recruitment team, go find a guy, go find a hidden gem. That's why I was kind of happy with the Nancy appointment at first, because I'd been aware of the guy for a while and I'd always fancied him getting a wee stint with us. I was like, okay, they've actually pushed the boat out here. It didn't work out. Nancy did himself no favours, not adjusting to the players he had. But I just wish we could do it again. I mean, we should have asked a question with Askew. That's the main regret I think that we're going to have this season, is just not letting Askew go to Toulouse.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, outside, I mean, you could throw the little list that's out there probably right now of and we mentioned a couple of the names, Keane, Bellamy. You see Steve Clark's name. I don't think that would happen, particularly with him being in the World Cup. Roberto Martinez, again, being in the World Cup. outside, or and people you saw mentioned in the comments. Do you think it'll be one of those guys, or just somebody out off the wall, like who we know nothing about right now, kind of like Harani Diallo or Ange Postecoglou first time he came around? Like, Chris, how do you see it?
Well, so who's going to make the decision to hire a manager?
Dermot Desmond. So it's going to be Robbie Keane then?
I'm just saying, there has to be a little bit of realistic expectations, in my opinion, that as much as I would love to have Ange Postecoglou back at Celtic. I would love that. He was amazing.
Yeah.
He's still young enough. He's not coming back. I
Right.
just it's the same reason that Rodgers left mid-season the second time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that he knew that he wasn't going to be able to get players, and couldn't spend the money, and then after that he just couldn't be asked to do anything, and I don't want to have to continually do this, but we're just going to have to continually do this until we get somebody that's like, I want to be here. I want to be a manager at Celtic. I want to, lead you to Champions League football. And I just, the list to me, Robbie Keane and Bellamy and all of them that are on the list everybody's talking about, all over the place. I don't know that you're going to get those names to get you something that you're going to be like, okay, great, that makes sense, right? But at the end of the day, I don't know that any of us are going to have a say so in who we're going to choose for a manager. It's going to come directly from the top, and that's sort of where I'm hedging my bets to be like, you know what, I just want to be excited about playing football next season. No matter who it's going to be, it may be a complete and total shit show, but at least I'm looking forward to it, right? But back,
I think we will be.
But back to the original point, though, was that I'm Paul. I am 100% with you that I think we need to find somebody other than Martin O'Neill. I just don't know that that's going to happen this year. Yeah, I just don't see it any other way other than if that list is not including Martin O'Neill, then anybody's guess is as good as mine, right? As to who the managers are going to be. But if Martin O'Neill's on that list, I'm finally going, okay, well, next season may be okay if Martin O'Neill's given another year to maybe, dig deeper to find somebody that can have that, raw, Ange Postecoglou energy to, turn not just the season around or our mentality or whatever, but kind of make that modernizing football that we're all craving for. I mean, it's just, I just don't know that arguing, not that we're really arguing, but arguing about who the manager is going to be is it to a certain point. It's who does it really matter? Because nobody that is walking and talking right now is going to be making that choice. It's going to come straight from the top of it, Dermot Desmond. So, but I mean, that's me being probably a little pessimistic, but.
No, I think it's fair. The board, people in charge have shown that they can recruit people, push the ball out and stuff like that. They kind of go for the easier route. I think Ange was just kind of lucky thing when we got him in. I think Lowell or someone had ran into him or his agent at some meeting out in the Middle East somewhere, and just kind of once Eddie Howe said no, they kind of brought him up, and it just the timing was right. Other than that, we've not really been lucky with those pushing the ball out managers. But do you know what else pushing the boat out means? Spending a bit of cash. And there's a very bold manager in England who's just quit his job.
I was just
it's
about
never
to
going
say
to happen.
that.
Never going to happen. But ask the guy. Say, hey,
Right.
fancy coming up here for a wee stunt?
But I mean, but you know, he's gonna want more control. You know,
Somebody needs to take control of this mess.
Oliver Glasner, right? So, I mean, they got, you know, he would be perfect. You know, I mean, it would be like another Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah.
You know, but is a Brendan Rodgers type, you know, signing like a once in a lifetime and only can be, you know, kind of serendipitous, you know, but I mean, you're right. I would love to see somebody like that, you know, come up here and be promised and be allowed to make the necessary changes and modernize a club like Celtic. I mean, that would be perfect.
Yeah, and it's like this title race there also showed those managers that we're not always going to be flat track bullies. It's not a cakewalk every season.
Right, exactly.
You still have to work for this, and it could be a challenge.
Right.
It could be a little bit of fun for them after like craziness of the Premier League. But then again, like it can also be pretty shit. At the same time, dealing with a Celtic board.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we're walking into, or we're entering a very, very unknown future. Yeah, because there's either going to be the necessary dramatic change that we all want, or it's just going to be more of the same. Maybe we win the league, maybe we don't. And you know, Dermot Desmond, he's not a stupid person, you know, and you can be stubborn and set in your ways all you want. But again, like you said, Paul, eventually it's going to catch up with you. Can you imagine if we would have lost the league to Hearts this year? I mean, seriously, like think about it. Like they got a get out of jail free card, Dermot Desmond included, and they need to really, really. I'm happy if they take, you know, hopefully they've been planning on what they're going to do to improve the situation. But, you know, if it takes a little bit more time than we all want, I'm happy with that. But they got to get it right, or shit is going to be just toxic, more toxic than it was at all this year.
Yeah, that was my fear this season. Look, like if we back a few months ago, I was saying like if we claw us back, if we win the league, and we did that, we won a double. My fear was that, like the board was like, "What are you moaning about? It's fine."
You can't see. I think it would be impossible for them to see it that way because it was by the skin of our teeth.
Yeah.
My probably fear is like we're kind of seeing them having done that already with the Sriracha situation. Sounds like Boca said, "This is how much we want for the guy." The guy showed he's a star for us, you know, great backup for Tierney. And I'd been aware of him before he came to us. And when he signed, I was like, it's going to be a pretty solid, unremarkable backup for us. It'll be great. Yeah. He won the game against Hearts, you know, put him in a back three. Back three won the league, by the way.
Right. And, that's true.
They came in, ran with the ball, didn't give up.
Right.
Showed that he's worth the money. And Boca said, here's how much we want. And we just went, nah. And that's what we've been moaning about. Not just for years, but specifically this season. It's just something needs to change this club, and it feels like it's not going to. And that's like the one little dark part of winning this double. Incredible. I'm delighted we did it. There's just this little fear in the back of my mind. Is like, they're just going to keep doing this, aren't they?
Yeah. But say we lost the league. Would you expect major changes right off the bat? I honestly don't. I would say no.
Maybe not off the bat, but it would have been untenable for the board because we've been saying for years, like, hey, we're winning everything domestically, we're cleaning up domestically, but we're just not pushing forward in Europe. And we're not asking to spend 20-40 million on players. We're asking to stop signing £1 million punts from your agent pals. You've shown that when we push the boat out and spend money on a good player like Van Dijk for 4 or 5 million, Edward, Matt O'Reilly. Like, we can make good money off of them, and they're good players. But instead, we keep bringing in these 1 million guys that the managers don't want, and then when they play them, like your Madan and Amura and like Palma, guys like that, and they come out and maybe they show up in a couple of games, but ultimately are awful. And then you patch them out on loan to like some second division German team, and they can't get in the team. And then they come back, and we're supposed to think that they'll just come win us the league. No, they won't.
This is I don't know if you guys follow along with the chat, but yeah, this is 100% right.
Yeah, we've got a wee Campbell there.
I haven't even.
I got for bid one to win a European tie over 2 legs for the first time in 25 years. I mean, God forbid. I mean, Brian O'Rourke has been about that since the Jambo. There's a thing called European football. You'll get used to it next year. It's tough. It's tough out there. It's pretty tough. And teams that are good enough to win in Scotland aren't always good enough to win in Europe.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, you mentioned Sriracha, and that's probably a good lead in too, because you guys got to roll. So we're not going to be able to go 2.5 hours like we have in a few weeks. But in terms of players coming in and out, like, and Sriracha you mentioned, and I 100% agree. I think he was very important, and like particularly against Hearts, and you saw that a lot. Like he just brings something different, just outside of the box, kind of like he's almost doesn't even play a position in a lot of ways. You know, like what I mean, like he's a left back, but like ends up roaming all over the pitch and just making shit happen. I mean, and very effective at the end of games when Tierney comes off. But even when he started, he was he was good in that role too. So it is frustrating to see nothing happen when his name comes up and we're maybe bringing him back on as a backup, because probably Tierney will be the starter. But honestly, and we talked about the starting lineup. Could Sriracha play that wing role that nobody seemed to fill, that left wing role that nobody seemed to be able to fill at the end of the season, like Tenecti and Parston or Yang or whoever it was at the end of the season? I think he's a guy who can do a lot of things out there. But I mean, in terms of other guys, there's obviously Maeda's 98% out the door, I would say, if not even more than that. And that'll be a big loss. And hopefully we get more money than we would have gotten, after he was on his, 17 games out of the goal run. And then Engels too. We could have lost him in January to Forest for what? They were saying 25 million, after all in on whatever incentives and all that shit. But so losing those two guys are probably the two guys who are most instrumental at the end of the season in getting us over the line to win the title. So I don't know, and then World Cup's coming up. Alistair Johnson, if he has a big World Cup, what happens with him? So there's a lot of what ifs, obviously, going into the off season. Chris, do you see us keeping? I think Maeda is out the door. Do you see us keeping Engels and Johnston?
Keeping Engels is going to be difficult, I think. If people are willing to spend 25 in January for him, now that he's got a double under his belt and he's, looking, kicks the dog shit out of it like he did on this past Saturday, it's going to be tough to keep him. I also think that, Maeda's definitely gone. I think that's pretty well documented. I think Itate's gone. The thing that bothers me about Alistair Johnson is that Alistair Johnson, when he is doing interviews and talking to people, it seems like he wants to be at Celtic. At least that's the what I hear in his voice sometimes when he's talking about Celtic. But if he has a good World Cup, man, somebody's going to come in and offer him a boatload of money because, man, having good right backs and left backs, man, that's you were talking about Srirachi. I think Srirachi would be just an incredible signing because then I don't have to worry about having a left back for a while, right? Like you've got Tierney and Srirachi, like you're solid at left back. But yeah, I think you'll see a number of people that may not have gotten looks or whatever that would be willing to jump off of the squad. I also think that's why some of them have already, Yang and Scales and McCallan even, they went and signed new paperwork. So I mean, we signed them to a longer deal or extended their deal. So but I think you're going to see a lot of. I think you're going to have a lot of gaps to fill this season. But like you said, I just don't think that we're going to see what it's going to look like for a few weeks at least.
Yeah, Sean, how about you? Like, I'll throw out another name, the Araujo, like as a replacement. I mean, obviously you would like to see him come back, but again, he's on Mexico's World Cup team too. So like we have a lot of players in the World Cup this year. I mean, it's a bigger World Cup, so probably that makes sense that we have more players. But
I think as much as I would love to have Araujo, I think his wages are just too high. Especially to have both. I think with AJ, it's interesting. I'm not sure that he would be, even despite the World Cup, maybe as in demand after missing most of this, a good chunk of the season. Engels, I think, is probably going to be gone. I've heard Trusty may be gone. I've heard even talk about maybe McGregor leaving. Maybe it all depends on who we bring in for the man. We need to get the manager sorted, and because we don't want the same thing that has happened for the past couple of years. Is you have all these players and the manager doesn't want to play them. If we have to kind of do a clear out, for a new manager, why not cash in?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, got to spend that money somehow. But
that's not what we're going for.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I agree. I think if AJ sticks around, he's definitely the next captain.
Not QT.
It'd be a toss up for me.
Yeah, I do think Cal Max got in. I think he showed up his weaknesses this year as a captain. Once the goal, it'd been not necessarily easy for him, but it'd been going pretty well the whole time he'd been captain. And then as soon as it got difficult under Nancy, it kind of disappeared. And you had Scales and McCowan coming out doing the press conferences and stuff like that. It just went quiet. And for me, that's kind of put a little mark on his face. For me, I feel like he does have his eyes on maybe going back with Brendan over to Saudi. And I think a big problem for Celtic is we never drop our captain. Our captain plays every game if he's fit. Yep. And in the midfield, it's not really feasible. In certain games, you do really need to be able to change things in your midfield if your midfield's falling apart. So that's why I'm kind of leaning like KT or AJ as captains going forward. Because, they can be injured. They both get injured a lot. We can have bad deputy captains, but they're not in a position where you kind of would need them to be changed to really affect the game. Like you can tell after go back, like hey, just stay back, or like start getting forward a bit here. Like invert in different roles. But like if you're a defensive mid, that's your role. If it's not working that day, then your midfield's gone and you're overrun. For signings, I've got a feeling we're gonna lose Carter Vickers this summer.
Oof.
It's a lot of losses.
But I mean, he's not played all season. he's getting up there in age. God knows, like, I
It's
mean,
not a full season.
he kind of started, showing his, weaknesses, even before he got hurt. I mean, we're all like, sentimental about these players that we all love, but the bottom line is that, we can definitely do better, and we should be doing better.
Yeah.
We have now, hopefully, Champions League again next season, and selling players when we should sell them, that should bring in a ton of money. I mean, we could have 150 160 million in the bank.
Just spent anything in years. So
Yeah. So I mean, but that it all comes back to, like, the same macro issue here. Who doesn't matter who the manager is if the board doesn't spend and recruit quality players. I mean, the whole thing is just it's all connected, and that's what really needs to change. It's a macro change, not just a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah. And like I said, it was like we're playing with the dregs of the last two managers.
Yeah.
And you're gonna bring, that's why I want us to move forward. You need to bring a new guy in and just a refresh of this team. There's guys that have been hanging around for a long time, and like they've been great. But some, like, modern football comes in cycles of 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
And holding on for guys for too long can really hurt a team.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw this comment up just because it's pretty hilarious. I had to feel like that's.
We won the league in
I
Spain.
don't yeah. Yes, definitely. I hope that's funny, but or they're just trying to be funny. I hope. Yeah, I feel like the board is ready to trot out CCV and Jota as like a new signing for next year. So that's gonna be disappointing for them to not be able to do that.
Yeah.
But like you said, I agree with you, Sean. We could have a shitload of money to spend to this off season if we get money for Engels and Maeda and what we already have.
So Bernardo. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. Are we gonna get anything for him at this point? Probably. A little bit.
We've gotten money that you would never expect on so many guys.
Right. You're right.
That's
a good point.
Guys.
Yeah, the board are weirdly good at getting like a couple of million for a guy who's not played for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Our outgoings, I think, incoming wise, there's the next big centre back, the next best centre back in the world is currently playing for Chicago Fire. South African lad, Akai. On the he scores absolute thunder bastards from midfield, just rockets into the top corner, crossfield balls, just making insane tackles. He's only on like 12 grand a week right now. So Fire only going to get one season out of him because he's going to the World Cup and it's going to be brilliant. Go ask a question, Celtic. Go ask the question.
Dude, that's what we need. Yeah. We get comments in our comments every week is like asking us about our MLS knowledge. Like, is there any players in America? And me and Chris are like I got nothing. We need to have Paul.
Yeah.
I mean, I got it wrong with Nancy. Hold my hands up for that one. And there are great players in the MLS doing some good work. This guy called Musa playing for Dallas right now. He's playing really well. Chicago Fire current keeper. He's 20. He's just been called up to the World Cup. He's an incredible shot stopper. Like, he's getting used to playing out from the back. I think there is some deals to be made in the MLS, but the problem is there's big money in the MLS. Like, MLS is the big money league in the Americas, pretty much.
Yeah.
And when players come here, they're making like the top end make a good wedge, and then like the bottom end don't. And those are the guys you don't really want.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer watching some Liga MX. Right, because I mean it's completely backwards from mine.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a fun league to watch. But yeah, the good players from the Mekis go to the MLS to make their money.
That's right.
Even though like in the MLS quality's been better the past couple of years. Like, you used to get a lot of time on the ball, used to get a lot of space, but like teams are pressing high now and pressing hard, especially when they're playing teams like Miami. Yeah, obviously Messi and stuff like that. Even like teams are challenging Miami right now. I don't know, Sean, if you saw this weekend, Shawnee boy. There was a 10-goal game, Miami v Philly this weekend.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Philly,
Well, I saw the score in the first half was like insane too.
It was like 4 each at halftime or something. It was mental, and their teams are like just going, okay, you know what, like they all just acted against us because Miami are getting away with all the financial doping. So let's just press them and then hack them. Like Messi went off like in the first half injured because he's trying to win the World Cup. So he felt a bit of a pain. He'd been get me off here. His teams are just going all in. It's kind of setting players up for the Scottish game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't even get to talk about Shankland going to the Huns. I blocked that Hearts guy in the. He started talking shit about Chris and Chris's beard. So I'm like, you're out.
Yeah, my support Hearts is Brian O'Rourke, by the way. Like, it's the turncoat if I could get one. He's still watching.
But yeah, so let's start wrapping up because I know you guys got to roll. I think we did pretty good, like reeling it in. Like usually we just let things flow and we're like talking about the game for like an hour and a half and they're like, oh shit, like we haven't even gotten to our next topic yet. But at least we don't have a game to preview for next week. But I'm gonna throw up a couple comments that I saved throughout the night. And Bobby, this has been Bobby's thing all year, and I'll throw it up again. I lose every week. Celtic win the league. Sean comes in fourth in facial hair again. I think I came in third like once or twice this season. And
just gotta grow the stash.
And that I can't, dude. It just looks terrible. And then Mick had to bust my balls even more. So thanks, Mick. Mick moved further down the line on our guest list. And then slathering cabbage. Is Shawnee boy drinking from Philly drinking orange juice? No, I'm drinking a orange creamsicle IPA. And it looks more like pineapple juice to me. Yeah. And then Mick redeems himself with cabbage. Those are orange cheers, mate. So yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up there because I know you guys got to roll, and we kept it. I know Sean said 9:30 at the latest. It's 9:28 right now here, so I think we did good. But yeah, again, like I mean, I can't believe we're celebrating a double, and like you two guys have been with us the most this season, so thank you. It's been, I mean,
yes, thank
Chris, me and Chris every week, like it's a blast every week doing this. Yeah, and that's why we're gonna try to keep doing it during the summer and try to get some people we haven't had on from other CSCs, and introduce some of more American, because I know that's like Gav from the Malaysia who runs our channel. Like I think he's absolutely floored by the amount of people and like just amazing quality guests we have on every week in and week out. So I want to find more so we can impress them even more with what we have over here in North America. So you two guys have been with us the most this year, so thank you very much. Pleasure. Yeah, it's always fun. I want to throw up two more pictures because I saved, and I'll throw out another shout out, even though Mick was busting my balls about my lack of facial hair. But this is them in Kansas City this weekend. Nice. Great pick on their outside. And then next week we're working on guests, but we're gonna have Steven from the new Jersey Shore CSC that's up in North Jersey Shore. Like we have one down in South Jersey where I go, but up in Bradley Beach, New Jersey. And they've gotten something rolling towards the end of this season. And you can see their crowd this weekend was pretty good for the Scottish Cup finals. So great job by them getting it rolling. And we'll talk to him next week. And definitely looking forward to that. So
fantastic.
Yeah, so I mean, Chris, it's been a fun first season doing this, right?
Thanks everybody for tuning in, leaving comments, being guests. It's been a blast. So y'all stay tuned for the off season.
Yeah, Yeah, and you saw it tonight, even in the comments, like a lot of those guys that are here every week, and it's all like Andrew in Melbourne, he's here every week. 420's here, Milky Moo, all those guys, and then all the guys we have on who we've had as guests, like Jason from Columbus was in, Mick, Bobby, like it's awesome doing this, and I love it, and I can't wait to keep it going and hopefully make it bigger for next season. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So if you can, give a like and subscribe to the channel, just so you can help us find us every week. We do it Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to keep doing it as much as we can in the off season. And yeah, again, so thanks Sean and Paul for coming on. And yeah, and that's about it. Hail, and we'll see you next week.
Check
Cheers.